Hello friends, I am Dr. Vivek Humne from Department of Chemistry, C.R.R. Lahoti Science College, Urshi. Today we will discuss about the infrared spectroscopy of BSc final year students. Before understanding the infrared spectroscopy, we first look what is meant by electromagnetic radiation. So electromagnetic radiation is associated with the electric and magnetic field which are situated perpendicular to each other. Here we can see that the blue waves represent the electric field while the red waves represent the magnetic field. These blue waves are propagated along y-axis while red waves are propagated along z-axis. These two waves are perpendicular to each other, so this is the nature of electromagnetic radiation. In brief, we can say that electromagnetic spectrum is the distribution of electromagnetic radiation according to frequency and wavelength. The electromagnetic radiation consists of many subregions. Here we can see that the spectrum is divided into the many subregions from radio wave, microwave, radar wave, infrared wave, ultraviolet wave, X-ray wave and gamma rays. As we go from radio wave to gamma ray, the frequency goes on increasing while wavelength goes on decreasing. Similar to frequency, the energy of radiation is also goes on increasing. So the infrared radiation is lies between the ultraviolet and radio radar waves. This is a commercial aspects of electromagnetic radiation. The radio waves can be used for the radio and television station, while microwaves are used for commercial purpose. Infrared is used for the fires and radiators. We very well familiar with the visible light. The ultraviolet light is used for the fluorescent tube, and X-ray and gamma rays are used for the medical purpose. So what is the principle of infrared spectroscopy? In order to understand the principle of infrared spectroscopy, we must consider a molecule can be resembles to a ball and spring model. So these molecules can be rotate as well as the vibrate. This is the spectrum range of electromagnetic radiation. So if molecule is rotate as well as the vibrate, it possesses the particular frequency. This vibration is called as the frequency of vibration. So each and every molecule have the vibrations. CO2, HCl, H2O and methane molecule. These all molecules are made up of atoms and bonds. That's why it is vibrates and it having the characteristic frequency. So we can say that IR spectroscopy is used to determine the characteristic frequency of the functional group. It is used to determine the characteristic frequency of functional group. The infrared frequency, the infrared region is divided into the three regions. One is the far infrared, another is the middle infrared, and last one is the near infrared. The far infrared region lies in between 10 to 333 centimeter inverse. Middle infrared region belongs to 333 to 4000 centimeter inverse, and near infrared region belongs to 4000 to 13,150 centimeter inverse. So why the molecule absorbs the energy? This can be better explained by considering the energy level diagrams. The molecule is associated with the three types of energy level. First is the electronic energy level, another is the vibration energy level, and third one is the rotational energy level. The rotational energy level is associated in between the vibrational energy level. Vibrational energy level is associated in between the electronic energy level. So when molecule absorb energy, the molecule possesses three types of transition: rotational transition, vibrational transition and electronic transition. The energy required for the electronic transition is more than vibrational, is more than the rotational. So the vibrational energy level, the difference between this energy level is very less. So this absorption of frequency is depend on the dipole moment. The dipole moment can be defined as it is a charges between the two items and the distance between the center of charges. As the molecule vibrate, there is a fluctuation in its dipole moment, and this causes a field that interact with the electric field associated with the radiation. So dipole moment is the necessary condition to show the IR inactivity. In the case of HBr, hydrogen carries the del positive charge, bromine carries the del negative charge. It shows the dipole, that's why it is IR active. While bromine don't have any dipole, therefore it is IR inactive. 3 degree of freedom means it possesses the anti-symmetric stretching, symmetric stretching and scissoring bending. The anti-symmetric stretching possesses 3585 centimeter inverse, symmetric stretching absorbed at 3506 centimeter inverse, and bending possesses 1885 centimeter inverse. The stretching frequency always have higher wave number than the bending motion. Similar to this, we can also assign the degree of freedom for CO2 molecule. From the structure of CO2, we can say that it is a linear molecule. That's why it possesses 3n minus 5 degree of freedom. By putting the value of 3, then it becomes the 4. So total 4 motions, 4 vibrations are there for CO2 molecule. For symmetric stretching, carbon atom is remain fixed, while oxygen atom, both oxygen atom come closer to each other and goes away from carbon atom at the same time. That's why the dipole moment of this molecule, this stretching mode becomes 0. That's why it is IR inactive. While for asymmetric stretching, the CO2 molecule become the active, or for bending stretching, the molecule is vibrated along xz and xy axes. That's why it possesses the IR active molecule, and both these having the same energy. So for asymmetric stretching, it absorbs at 2350 centimeter inverse, and for bending it absorbs the 666 centimeter inverse for CO2 molecule. So the next question arises, how to read and interpret the IR spectra. Before understanding this, we must know what is the meaning of Hooke's law. So Hooke's law represents the frequency as well as the wave number of the molecule. If item A and B is bonded together by some bond, the item A possesses the mass m1, item B possesses the mass m2, and these two items are bonded by the some bond having the bond strength K. Here K is called as the bond force constant. So the frequency is given by nu is equal to 1 upon twice pi under root K by mu, or in terms of wave number, it can be said that nu bar is equal to 1 upon twice pi c under root K by mu, where K is the force constant and mu is the reduced mass, is equal to m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2. IR absorption range. So how we learn the IR frequency? This can be better explained by considering the Hooke's law. Hooke's law says that nu bar is equal to 1 upon twice pi c under root K by mu. So we can say that wave number is directly proportional to K. K means force constant. If you just consider carbon-carbon double single bond, carbon-carbon double bond, carbon-carbon triple bond, the force constant goes on increasing. That's why its wave number is also goes on increasing. For carbon nitrogen single bond, carbon nitrogen double bond, carbon nitrogen triple bond, the force constant for this group is goes on increasing. That's why its wave number also goes on increasing. For carbon oxygen single bond, carbon oxygen double bond, again the force constant goes on increasing, the wave number goes on increasing. As the number of bond increases, the force constant also increases and wave number also increases. But from this equation also we can say that the wave number is inversely proportional to reduced mass. If the reduced mass is increases, the wave number decreases. For NH, OH and CH, the reduced mass goes on increases, then its wave number goes on decreases. So from this Hooke's law we can say that the force constant increases, the wave number also increases, the reduced mass increases, the wave number decreases. The IR spectra generally show three types of peak. One is the weak peak, medium peak and strong peak. The IR spectra is plotted along y-axis and x-axis. Along y-axis the transmission is given, along x-axis the wave number is given. If such type of weak signal comes, then it is called as the weak frequency. Such type of is called as the medium frequency and such type of is called as the strong frequency. 20 to 50 centimeter inverse obtained for C triple bond and it should be very intense. On the basis of the intense peak we can say that nitrile group is present. For butanol, for one butanol, if such type of broad signal is obtained nearly or above 3000 centimeter inverse, then such type of broad signals always due to the OH stretching, or we can say such type of broad signal is obtained due to the replaceable proton, and on the basis of this we can assign means some replaceable proton is present in our molecule. This is the IR spectra of aldehyde and ketone. Now let us focus on the carbonyl group. Here carbonyl group is attached to the hydrogen and alkyl groups, while in ketone molecule both alkyl groups are present. If we see the stretching frequency of CO, then this carbon is electropositive, oxygen is electronegative, it shows the good dipole moment. That's why in IR spectra the intensity of absorption peak for CO carbonyl group is very intense, and it always occur at 17-20 centimeter inverse. So for both the carbonyl group absorb nearly same range, but how will distinguish? Now come to the point of aldehyde. So in butyraldehyde the hydrogen is attached to carbonyl. So if this some frequency is obtained at 27, 20 or 27, 20 and 28, 20 centimeter inverse, such type of symmetric asymmetric stretching is observed and it is nearly medium type or intense type, then such type of frequency is only for the CH of aldehyde, while this frequency is absent in the case of ketone molecule. So this is one of the characteristic frequency through which we can distinguish aldehyde and ketone. For carboxylic group, again the carbonyl frequency is obtained at 17-11 centimeter inverse, which gives a very sharp peak, while for OH the broad signal is obtained, the broad peak is obtained, and this broad peak is due to the replaceable proton. Similar to amines, here the secondary amines is taking as an example. For secondary amine, the stretching frequency is very weak. It is about 3400 centimeter inverse. The secondary amine show the very weak signal. That's why this is belongs to the secondary amine. While CH gives the CH of alkane gives the frequency below 3000 centimeter inverse. For amide, again carbonyl frequency is obtained at 1630 centimeter inverse. This is due to the CO stretching, carbonyl stretching, as the amine group is bonded to carbonyl. That's why the electropositivity of the carbonyl goes on decreasing and it's shifted towards the lower wave number. While NH stretching, the dipole moment become very high because some electropositive is attached to the nitrogen. That's why its dipole moment become very high and it gives the intense peak at 34 centimeter inverse. While remaining CH stretching for alkane is obtained below 3000 centimeter inverse. Finally, thank you to all of you for listening this presentation, and if student having some queries, so don't be hesitate to email to me on even email ID, and I'm always welcome to such type of queries. Again, very thankful to you.